Let's talk about something that I think we all feel. In a world that is just constantly screaming for our attention, how on earth do we find our true selves? We're going to dive into a path that leads inward, a journey to tune out all that noise and finally discover who we really are.
You know that feeling, right? It's so weird. You're going through the motions, you're physically in the room, but it feels like the real you is just somewhere else. If that sounds even a little familiar, trust me, you are not alone.
And this right here is at the heart of the problem. Our minds are just constantly getting hit with this wave of information, demands, other people's needs, and just distractions from the outside world. It's really no wonder we feel disconnected. We're way too busy reacting to everything coming at us to ever connect with what's actually in us.
So let's really unpack this world of distraction for a minute. How does it actually work? How does it cause us to lose our way and feel so completely disconnected from ourselves?
Okay, here's a really interesting idea, socialized compartments. Just think about your own life, right? You're a professional at work, you're a son or daughter at a family dinner, you're a friend on the weekend. We put on all these different hats for different situations. And look, that's totally normal. But it can start to break apart our sense of who we actually are at our core.
And that's really the danger. When we spend our whole lives just jumping from one of these compartments to the next, just playing a role, our authentic self gets totally lost in the shuffle. And it leads to this really deep feeling that the person everyone's talking to, well, it isn't actually you. This just lays out that internal battle so perfectly. On one side, you've got the illusion, this feeling of being controlled by what everyone else expects, like you're a puppet on a string. But on the other side, there's the reality of your true self, which is all about freedom. So many of us feel stuck in this constant tug of war.
So what keeps us stuck in that illusion, in that world of distraction? Well, this brings us to the next big idea, attachment. What are these invisible ties that keep us so bound to everything on the outside?
Wow, that is a powerful, straight-to-the-point statement, isn't it? The idea here is that our attachments to our jobs, to outcomes, to what other people think of us, even to our own expectations, they are the real root cause of our suffering and our pain. And where does all this usually start? Well, it often begins in what the source material calls the earthly trinity. Now, this basically refers to our very first, most formative relationships, the dynamic between a parent and a child. This becomes the blueprint for how we relate to the entire world, and it's where so many of our deepest, often unconscious attachments are first formed.
And you can see how this becomes a real challenge. If we stay unconsciously tied to those early influences, living out our family's expectations or trying to fix their old dynamics, it directly holds us back from finding our own path and being truly authentically free.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem pretty clearly. Distraction, these compartments we live in, and our attachments. But what do we do about it? What's the solution? Well, this is where we make that critical shift from always looking outward to finally turning inward.
The answer, as we see it here, is crystal clear. The only way to find any real quiet, any real clarity, is to go into your own mind. And this isn't some one-time thing. It's a practice, an ongoing choice to value your internal world over the external chaos, to detach from all that noise so you can find your center.
I mean, look at this. The two worlds are laid out right next to each other. The outside world, it's all distraction, fighting for control, and getting tangled up in other people's problems. But the inside world, that's a space of detachment, of real freedom, where you find your true self. The whole journey is about moving from that left column over to the right.
So, how do we actually do it? How do we make that journey inward? It's not some big mystical secret. It's actually a pretty practical two-part path. It involves a bit of subtraction, letting things go, and a bit of addition, opening up to what's already inside you.
And here's something that is absolutely crucial to get. This is a path of self-realization. Nobody can teach you who you are. You can't learn it from a book. You can't even learn it from me right now. It is a truth that you have to discover and experience for yourself. So here they are, the two sides of the same coin, and they work together. First, you have to consciously let go of who you aren't, all those social roles, the attachments, the identities you built based on what other people expect. And then, as you create that empty space, you can finally open up to who you truly are, to that authentic inner spirit. One action literally makes the other one possible.
As we start to wrap this up, it is so important to really land on the most empowering and maybe the most challenging part of this whole process. This journey is yours, and it is yours alone.
Let's just let these sink in for a second. You were born as an individual. You will die as an individual. You just can't live your life through other people's thoughts. No one can find your way for you. Your path is completely and totally unique to you. Nobody else can walk it.
So I'll just leave you with this question, and it's not some riddle to be solved, but it's a practice to be lived. If you were to truly, honestly, let go of all the roles, all the attachments, all the expectations, what would you find underneath it all? Who is the real you just waiting to be found?